Across cultures, penis size has long been linked with ideas of masculinity, confidence, and sexual ability. But how accurate are these beliefs? And why are so many men still fixated on size? Let's uncover the real numbers and the psychology behind this common obsession. The real statistics, scientific research paints a much clearer picture than social myths. A large-scale review published in the World Journal of Urology 2023 found that the average erect penis measures about 5.1 to 5.5 inches, 13 to 14 centimeters in length and around 4.5 inches, 11.6 centimeters in circumference. When flaccid, the typical length is roughly 3.6 inches, 9.2 centimeters. These figures often surprise people, especially in a world filled with exaggerated images from adult media and unrealistic online comparisons. The psychology behind size anxiety. Why do so many men feel insecure about their size? Psychologists point to something called social comparison theory, the tendency to evaluate ourselves against others. When men compare themselves to unrealistic portrayals in media or locker rooms, it can trigger penis size anxiety, a form of body dysmorphia where normal variations feel inadequate. This self-doubt doesn't just affect confidence. It can also harm relationships, self-esteem, and even sexual performance. Ironically, worrying too much about size can increase performance anxiety, making intimacy less enjoyable for both partners. What partners actually value. Research consistently shows that most women and partners care far more about connection, confidence, communication, and care than about physical size. In fact, a study in BMC Women's Health found that fewer than 20% of women considered penis size very important for sexual satisfaction. What really matters is emotional comfort, mutual trust, and the ability to please one another through understanding, not measurements. Shifting from comparison to confidence, knowing the averages can help replace myths with facts. But the deeper lesson lies in self-acceptance. True confidence doesn't come from being above average in inches. It comes from authenticity, respect, and emotional intelligence. A healthy sexual relationship is built on communication, connection, and shared pleasure. Not numbers. Part 2. The truth about size, confidence, and real intimacy. 1. The hidden role of media and culture, from movies to advertising. Modern media has shaped how men view their bodies. Over decades, exaggerated imagery and unrealistic standards have fueled the belief that bigger is always better. This conditioning starts early, long before most people even enter real relationships, creating a psychological gap between fantasy and reality. What's rarely discussed is how these ideals often come from performance-driven industries, not science or emotional truth. When men internalize these messages, it can lead to feelings of inadequacy, pressure, and comparison, even when their size is completely normal. How insecurities impact relationships. Insecurity about size often doesn't stay in a man's head. It shows up in behavior. Men who feel less than average may avoid intimacy, overcompensate by trying too hard to impress, or withdraw emotionally from their partners. This can unintentionally create distance and misunderstanding in relationships. Ironically, partners usually notice confidence and care far more than physical traits. When one partner focuses too much on body comparison, it can reduce emotional connection, the very thing that makes sex meaningful. Building body confidence and emotional strength. Overcoming size anxiety isn't about denial. It's about perspective. Here are a few psychology-backed steps to rebuild genuine confidence. Shift focus from looks to connection. Emotional closeness, laughter, and trust create stronger arousal than physical traits alone. Practice body neutrality. Instead of labeling your body as good or bad, see it as simply yours. Positive communication. Honest conversations about comfort, pleasure, and confidence can deepen intimacy far more than physical changes ever could. Mindful sexuality. Focus on sensations, touch, and connection rather than self-evaluation or Comparison. 4. What science says about satisfaction. Multiple studies highlight that sexual satisfaction has more to do with communication and technique than with anatomy. Research from the Journal of Sexual Medicine found that emotional, trust, and partner understanding predict satisfaction levels far better than size or duration. This reinforces the truth. The most fulfilling sexual experiences are built on mutual respect, curiosity, and comfort, not measurement or ego. Redefining. Masculinity, true masculinity, isn't measured in inches. It's measured in integrity, confidence, empathy, and authenticity. When men let go of size comparison and focus on emotional growth, they naturally become more attractive and confident partners. Being average by statistics doesn't make you less. It makes you human. And when you accept that, you create space for deeper, more meaningful intimacy, one rooted in connection, not competition. Part 3. How to build confidence. Improve intimacy and let go of size anxiety. 1. Confidence starts in the mind. True confidence isn't about physical traits. It's about how you think and feel about yourself. Psychologists emphasize that self-image drives behavior. When you feel comfortable in your body, your partner feels that energy too. A man who carries quiet confidence and emotional openness often appears far more attractive than someone focused solely on appearance. To build that inner confidence, challenge negative self-talk. Replace thoughts like, "I'm not enough," with "I bring connection and care." Focus on strengths, your sense of humor. Warmth and attentiveness matter more than any measurement. Remember, confidence is contagious. When you feel secure, your partner relaxes too. Emotional connection beats physical perfection. Research in human sexuality consistently shows that emotional intimacy leads to better physical satisfaction. When partners feel safe, seen, and respected, they're more open to expressing desires and exploring pleasure. That means emotional closeness, not anatomy, is the foundation of great sex. So instead of asking, "Am I big enough?" he'd ask, "Am I making my partner feel connected, desired, and safe?" That simple mental shift can transform not just your confidence, but your relationship. The role of communication in intimacy. Many insecurities fade when partners simply talk openly. Healthy sexual communication includes sharing what feels good and what doesn't, without judgment, expressing affection through words, eye contact, and touch, checking in emotionally before and after intimacy. These small habits build trust and help both partners feel valued. Remember, great sex is not about performance, it's about participation. Letting go of unrealistic standards. Online comparisons can distort what's normal. The truth? Every body is unique. Instead of chasing unrealistic ideals, focus on health, hygiene, and emotional presence. Physical satisfaction depends on rhythm, connection, and understanding, not length or size. When you let go of comparison, you free your mind from constant measurement, and that's when real intimacy begins. The new definition of sexual confidence, modern masculinity, is evolving. It's no longer about dominance or perfection, but about presence, respect, and vulnerability. A confident man listens, cares, and connects. And that emotional maturity is far more powerful than any physical trait. When you align confidence with kindness, you don't just perform better, you connect better, and that's what partners remember. Not how you look, but how you made them feel.